Hello everyone, VanguardOfValor here, and welcome back to the Sunless Sea. We've been exploring underwater adventures for a little while now, and so far we've had, let's just say, moderate success trying to not die as we explore various elements of the horrible depths. Today we're going to try and strike out a little bit further from home. Last time we went down to Port Carnelian, or rather, last time we went out to the north. Previously, we'd gone down from Port Carnelian. This time, we're going to head out a little bit towards the middle of the world, head over to the Connet and Khan's Shadow, head north up to Mount Palmerston, and go from there. See if we can't get a wider variation of the world. But the big problem is still the fact that we tend to get our butt kicked when we're out exploring. And that may be a problem for us if we're trying to not die. So we'll see if we can manage it by heading out to sea once again, but we may be in for an adventure here, folks. The big challenge is not dying, so we'll see if we can do that here. It would be unfortunate for us to die again so soon, just after having come back to this adventure, but it turns out that the unknown shores are quite dangerous. I think what we're going to do here first, though, is we're going to try and let the Presbyterian adventuress die the death she wants. I don't want her to die, but she wants to die, so let's see what happens if we talk to the people at Abbey Rock. I'm sure she'd be willing to fight one of the people here. Who knows? Let's gather up our port report first and see what happens. She wants to die gloriously. Maybe they'll be willing to help her die well. First, if we talk to her, does she have anything new to say? She'll train our iron in exchange for wounds. And secrets, of course. Perhaps not for now. Let's see if this will be what she wants. Let's get rid of this tutorial. There we go. And let's see if this is what she wants. Ask the sisters to arrange the adventuress's death. We won't fight you. Not to the death. That's not really us. But we can bring you something that will end you. An old adversary of ours. Be sure that it will end you. But fight hard, and you might wound it. That wound will remain as long as it does, which may be forever. And one day, it might take that wound into the sky. Sound good? We'll need something to lure him. Bring us, appropriate texts. Yes, I'm serious. We bring 5 units of romantic literature to the Connet. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know if we're gonna do that, but we may be locked in now. For now, it's time to move on, though. So we head back out again, and we're gonna head back down again in a moment, too. I'm interested in seeing what lies below here, and so it's time yet again to transform our ship. Not deep enough, alright. Let's just murder this poor little crab. And this rift is certainly going to be deep enough to let us get underwater. Question is, will we be able to get back out? Butcher it for supplies, that gets rid of a whole lot of hunger. And now we can go back down into Wolf's Rift, which may not be a safe place, but we'll find out once we get down there. Quick look around. Scan our surroundings quickly. Okay, looks safe enough for now. We're gonna head over here into the Sea of Lilies. I don't know if we're going to be able to get away with it, but we're going to try. Well, something awaits us. Another sonar pulse. So far, we're safe. I wonder where the areas under the sea are hiding. still terrified down here. This is moving. It's a beloved. Let's try and fight it and see what it does. Doesn't seem too aggressive, so we might be doing a very cruel thing here. But it's dead now, we might as well figure out what it... Is that moving towards us? I think it was. We've defeated a beloved. A cloud of oily bubbles signals the beast end. Its indeterminate refrain of moans and burbles and plaintive whistles finally dies away like a harmonium going down a drain. Let's fillet it for supplies and see what we get. We can try and do this later. The fin! Wait, no, the flank! Or, wait, the liver! Oh, the eye! Oh, salt. No fruit mer this, it's meat. There's no other word for it. Rosy, pink, and sweet. And tasting like the finest steak. No, like cream. No, like marbled honey. And suddenly it's all gone. Only the smell of abyssal brisket is left lingering on the plates, our fingers. Got rid of our hunger, lost 5 terror because it was delicious, got 1 supply and an unprepossessing mass. Alright, what's in the... Oh, there we go. What's in the unprepossessing mass? A lamentable relic. A human skull. This isn't the Z-Beast's stomach. What's it doing in there? Like a seed in a gourd? Something down there I feel was moving. Something big. I'm gonna go take a little look. Maybe not. Maybe not. We're not going to want to stay down here too much longer, though, because we're running low on air again. Which means it may be time to head back up. We'll give it one more sonar pulse, and we'll head back up for air. There's not a lot to be seen here. Let's head back up and make sure we don't suffocate. We're just about at the Sea of Lilies, so we're making progress. It'd be interesting to explore underwater here, though. So let's head back underwater right around here and see if it'll let us. Oh, okay. Hello. Reverse, hard reverse. Stun, please. Oh, just out of range. Reversing hard. That shark came out of nowhere. Okay, we got him. Whew, surprise. Let's grab that. Alright, we can examine its cage armature, which I believe gives us more armor, but we're at full hull right now, so we'll just use its meat. That gets us a supply, a hunting trophy, and choice cuts. It just uses up all of our food. Alright. Well, that was a surprise. Turn the corner and it's an immediate shark. Let's drop back under the waves here briefly. We're going to head down to Khan's Shadow in a moment anyway, which is probably where we're going to buy our new supplies. But we might as well take a look down here and see what's what. I'm interested in seeing if there's anything underwater near the prison. Oh, sonar has picked up an underwater settlement a long way to the northeast. Is that this? I don't know what these signals are for. How do I know what are we looking for? East is over here. Is that this? I can't believe I just asked if the northeast was up to the west. Alright, let's move. There is a settlement here. Maybe. Triskelgant? Trisk Elegant? What are you? You're like a giant sea anemone. Thankfully, we have a lot of firepower to throw at you, but what are you? It's attacking. Or it's trying to. And And it's no more. Alright, well that was a weird thing. Let's go see what it's all about. It spins as it dies, jetting boiling water from each of its maws with a noise like 100 mishandled kettles. A dark foamed vortex forms. It's a risk, but in fallen London they pay double for anything pole and line caught. So we could try and catch it, or we could try and just leave it. Well, at full health, let's give it a try. The winch creaks and whines as the beast tries to bore itself further into the dark below, but the hauling line holds. Finally, the Trisk Elegant is spent. It floats, turning gently like a child's pinwheel. We haul the thing in with care, but it disintegrates on the cargo floor. Luckily, there are glints of value and slathered remains. 5 Stygian ivory and a live specimen. Well, that was a valuable recovery there from a nasty beastie. We've discovered Skullshandur. Well, well. What is this place? Huh. Before us looms the Bone Tower of Skullshandur, the city of remembrance. Before us looms the tower. Ivory structures jut from the pile, supported by buttressing tusks. As our light plays across them, we can make out inscriptions, names, pictures, and dozens of lost languages. The largest ones carry a warning. All are welcome to enter, but none may depart without leaving something of themselves behind. A drowny floats before the docking gate of a bone cathedral. She wears a cowl and carries a ceremonial key carved from a femur. At her approach, she sings a solemn greeting. Soldier, scholar, servant of art, history welcomes without toll. But be warned ere you depart, none who enter escape whole. We'll have to pay a price to leave Skullshandur. Well, let's go. We have somebody who said they'd help us get out. A cowed crew. The Guardian unlocks the ivory gates. Steel glints in her fingers as she carves an image of our ship into her massive bone key. Our brave crew decide to remain on the ship as we disembark for the tower's dry center. We've been to Skullshandur. Our current Skullshandur Tides of Time is now 2, and the History of Heroes is now 2. We walk down a damp nave of bone. Intricately carved ivory walls depict improbable scenes from history. The walls are edged in tiny finger bones, each bearing a single name. Inhabitants wear ashen robes and carry steel-tipped bone quills. We recognize most as drownies or Chelonet expatriates. While most are quiet and ignore visitors, we hear heated arguments over interpretations of the sacred remains. Sacred remains which will include whatever we leave behind when we depart, rather. We can attempt to assist an ancient chronicler, gather at the stage of history, try to delve into the ivory archives. Interesting. We can compile a port report, which of course we will do. We can deliver our monastic drowny. Let's do our port report first, just in case something forces us to leave. The inhabitants of Skullshandur spend most of their time preying on the mysteries of the past. They spend almost as much time arguing about their interpretations. Salted residents often collect nearby salvage, studying the result and inscribing their interpretations on any skeletal remains. But those who leave too often are easily recognized by what they have left behind in their travels. Memories, personalities, and bones. Otherwise, they rarely consider the present, certainly with not the same focus they give to the histories buried within their tower. Recent world events are met with polite silence, unless it prompts an anecdote about similarities with antiquity. Apart from old grudges and new theories, very little changes here. Let's deliver our monastic drowny. Our silent passenger is transfixed by the murals, eyes wide and mouth agape. His unrepeatable exclamation is the first word we've heard from him. Something within the monastic drowning has been unloosed at the sight of such sweeping histories. After such a long time silent, he is eager to share his own smaller stories, and until he can earn his own bone quill, we are his captive audience. The coins he gives us are valuable, but not as much as the tales that tumble out of him. We get 50 echoes, we got a new Tide of Time, we gained 5 Z-stories, and we've been here. He said he'd give us enough to get out. I don't know if that's how it is. We can take note of a veiled woman. A middle-aged woman in a veiled hat is staring at us, waiting for us to notice and listen to her. Let's give it a try and see what it does. She pushes a sheaf of papers into an oversized case and bustles towards us. I have been all over Skullshandur, and I can find no sign of my brother's writing or any inscription about him, she says. Which is strange, because I was most definitely assured he had come here. Meanwhile, I made certain promises of a pecuniary nature, which mean I am not at liberty to leave Skullshandur again for a few days. So I turn to you. Could you assist me? Are your services for hire? It is a matter of family loyalty, of the ties of blood. Commission to retrieve a regret from Igrul. Oh, look at that thing. The woman is no longer exactly youthful, but she speaks passionately from under her veil. Perhaps she has studied heroines on the stage. I need help to be reconciled with my dear brother. Let's see what she wants. She has a brother who's very dear to her, a sensitive soul, very reserved. He used to work for the Admiralty. Something happened to distress him there. When I asked him about it, he said that I had enough to worry about with my own concerns. My husband was ill at the time, but I could help him if he would only permit me to know his troubles. For, you know, bearing one another's burdens would make us truly good. She tells us we'll need to go to Igrul, the city of regrets, find her brother's regret, and return it to her. She will pay. Gladly. Well then, that's questionable at best. We can try to assist an ancient chronicler. We're decent at it. Let's see what happens. No, we failed. The bandaged monk describes a day in the life of a tomb colonist while we carve his words. The tale continues interminably until our eyelids begin to droop, until our hand slips, sending the steel nib of the quill skittering across the bone and into the palm of our hand. Blood wells against ivory, flowing into the words and highlighting them in crimson. Kindly, the monk takes the quill and offers us a length of bandage. When we staunch the bleeding, he invites us to the ivory archives. He confides in us that many with their most beloved records are inlaid with blood. We've gained a terror, and that's all, which could have been worse. Let's gather at the stage of history and see what this is. Scholars file quietly into a pair of great ivory doors at the far end of the hallway. When they stubble out again, you can hear raised voices, arguments, and laughter. After the reverent silence at the outside, the boisterous noise at the amphitheater watches over us like the heavy sea beyond these walls. Actors strut in an amphitheater of bone, performing historical plays of dubious veracity. An audience watches from below, with each roaring drunk member applauding or jeering different details of the work. Above, an imperious figure wearing a crown of ivory judges each performance from a raised theater box. All are served by a single man, weaving between the crowd and wearing a perpetual smirk. We can talk with the glib historian. We can trade coffee for time in the archives, or wine for time in the archives. Interesting. We can agree to search the ivory archives for a hero. Interesting. We can watch a dramatic reenactment. We can talk with the glib historian. Let's do this here. The mushroom wine he serves is stale. The plays he announces are questionable at best, but the impeccably bearded man with the olive skin laughs at every performance and has a smile for every patron.
Some see your history as the work of brave and inspired heroes, especially them who wish they could be heroes themselves.
The glib historian rolls his eyes theatrically.
Others say it's all shaped by cyclical changes in scientific progress, economics and such, but nothing gets in the way of a good story quite like nuance.
He spits out the word like a rotten grape.
We let them argue up on stage and give an ivory crown to whoever's most convincing at the moment.
He waves a hand at a temporary monarch in the raised seat above.
But as far as I'm concerned,
he confides, filling a patron's mug with cheap wine,
history is what you make of it, and I make a killing.
We could watch a dramatic reenactment. Let's find out what happens. We haven't done this before. We learn. Huh. A city rises and falls in a matter of hours, with cast members playing a dozen roles each over the years. The dance number at the end is a crowd pleaser. Afterwards, the Drowny King assures the crowd that the dancing was strictly allegorical. We've lost 10 terror and 50 echoes. Interesting. I don't know what this does. The Chell and its champions hope to regain their prestige by staging a heroic play. Assist their research in the Ivory Archives, and they'll give us a hero's reward. Okay. They assure us that any hero will do, as long as their deeds are suitably profound. Ideally bloody, but the details are negotiable. Okay, with the trade to get more time in the archives to actually do that. Interesting. Interesting indeed. So we do have enough time to go in here, but we have 1 time in the archives, and we'll need more than that. So we'll have to come back here with wine or coffee, and then we'll be able to get in. Let's see what it costs to get out. To leave Skullshandur. Were there always this many guards when we came in? Was there always a pile of fresh bones by the entrance? Interesting. So, what do we have here? No one may depart Skullshandur without leaving something of themselves behind. Tradition demands it, as do the muscular guards at the gate. So, what do we have here? We can leave a story. 5 Z stories. Okay, so this is what that guy was offering. He paid us in 5 Z stories. We can pay those to leave. We can leave a hunting trophy. Fair enough. We can leave behind vitality. I don't like that. Leave behind our warmth. I don't like that either. Leave behind something a little bit more tangible. Ooh, finger bones. Ooh, no. No. Let's try this. Provide transport for a scholar. A bandaged scholar stands near the exit, angrily brushing ash off himself. He wants passage to Hideaway. He has studied remains of 100 wars and read 1,000 bitter ends. Now he seeks the survivors so he can interview them in person. He assures us it's a purely academic interest. His life has been splendid personally. He merely wishes to see how they live with themselves. A scholar of lost causes grumbles as he settles into his bunk, ready for the trip. Of course, he won't pay us now. That's fine, though. We're going to pay a hunting trophy here, because that's a fairly reasonable cost, I think. The guards light incense and clean the trophy with a musky oil. As we recount the victory that won it, a chronicler etches our words into its surface. The scratching of the bone quill grows louder in our ears with every word. By the time we've finished, our trophy has been replaced with an identical copy, but this one has been inscribed with a thrilling, fictional tale. As we depart, we wonder if we would recognize the hero of such a thrilling yarn. Time to leave. Well, that was interesting. You can buy things and sell things here. Pot of violent ink. I don't think this actually does anything anymore, because I believe we've already traded it in to the fellow who wants all the colors. I don't know if we can find that now, though, in here. Is it in somewhere else? Because I think we've already given him violent. So we might actually be able to sell our violent ink here to get some money instead. But it doesn't take up inventory space, so we might just hold on to it for now. We can buy fuel for quite reasonable prices here, actually, which is quite nice. Can't sell Stygian ivory or anything of the sort. Interesting. Well, I'll buy some fuel. It's a good price. Our inventory is kind of a mess, though. It's full of Stygian ivory, and they won't buy it from us here. But I believe they will buy it from us nearby. So we'll take the fuel we've got, and we're going to make our way out of here. That was an interesting discovery, Skullshandur. Most interesting indeed. Let's make our way back up. Does it show on the map up here? It doesn't. It's just hidden in the sea lilies. But that's fine. We'll drop into Nutmid Harbor and then we'll move on. So far, we're doing just fine. Stop in at Wisdom, compile a port report. There we go. Probably nothing else we want to actually do here. generally this isn't a grand place for anything like that. We could try and get some more supplies, but I think I will wait. Now, we still have Irigo, Gant, and Aposyan to do. So yeah, we've already given them Violent. Fair enough. Well, let's keep moving then. There's plenty more to explore. We're going to head down to the Connaught, and of course we're going to do it underwater as much as possible. But I'm going to move just a little bit further down here first, because we've already explored some of this area. And back down we go. I think it's interesting that they just convert your current boat into the submarine. I was a little bit worried before that we'd have to go buy a specific submarine, but it makes more sense for them to let you just convert whatever you're currently using into one. It means you get to take advantage of what you have rather than wondering later if you'll be able to use it. Found something over here. What is this something? Green orbs. Lovely. I'm going to leave those alone for now, and we're going to sail into the Connaught from below if we can. It probably isn't a good idea, but I'm interested in seeing what happens. Is there anything exciting underneath the Connaught? Probably not. I should probably be up at ground level here so I can actually stop in at the port, since we're here already. I'm surprised they're not more offended by the fact that we just surfaced nearby, but I'm not going to question it. In the Khan's glory, we don't really have much we can do here, and trying to cruise past the palaces makes them angry at us. What is this, though? They're too suspicious of me. Interesting. With more of the Timon's mercy, we could reduce our suspicion. But I don't know if we have enough pearls to really make that a viable option. Interesting, though, that we know there's something here. If we can get enough pearls, we may be able to come back and do something very unusual here. But for now, we're going to zip down to the Khan's Heart, where we should be able to do some trade, since I believe we do have a trade pass now. And then we can explore under here underwater, too, on our way over to Khan's Shadow. Might drop by Pigmote Isle as well, and see if they have anything exciting for us, since we're nice and close by anyway. In the Khan's Heart, ooh, here we go, a panic wave. Indeed. We could go to the Nephrite Quarter, that'll let us buy things if we want. Interesting. Lots of unusual things to do here. Let's start with the panicked wave, though. There's someone in the shadows trying to draw our attention with equal parts discretion and desperation. The impolite investigator shakes our hand with extreme vigor. Good day, Captain. When do we leave port? Can you ship around the Khan's best? Not that you'll have to, but it'd be comforting to know if you could. He needs to escape, and we can get him away. I'll welcome myself aboard. Where's my bunk? He heads at the plank before us. He continues talking, expecting us to keep up. The Kaganians didn't seem to like me asking questions. Not many people do. It's made me unpopular in most ports, but there's still one I haven't tried. You take me back to Hideaway? It's beneath the waves, on the back of a gigantic beast. You cannot miss it. Alright, he wants us to take him to Hideaway. Fair enough. We could try and take some time in the tea house, see what happens, but, let's see. Nephrite Quarter, we should be able to just get in here. Interesting. They want royal blue feathers. Muter salt. We could sell that here for a decent price. The Serene Aquarium goes for very cheap here. We could buy some fuel and supplies, which we probably should. Or Red Stallion Publishing. We could buy romantic literature if we want to bring those back as well. Well, let us see here. Can we sell any of our... No. Can't sell our ivory or anything like that. So instead, I think we'll buy some fuel. And we'll buy some supplies. It's a very expensive journey we've been doing here. We haven't been making a lot of money lately, but we'll deal with it. And we'll head back out on our merry way, I suppose. We're traveling the world. Who knows what we'll find. And back down we go. At Ogaday's Bridge. The impolite investigator's question. The impolite investigator approaches us, smiling. Now we're safely submerged. I have a question, Captain. I've discovered several crew members are attracted to you. Would you become intimate with any? If so, who? How would you engage, and why haven't you indulged yet? He was asking why we haven't had any romantic intimacies with any of them. But the reason is that we already have someone back home. Let's respond with a secretive smile, maybe? Let's see how he reacts to that. I think that's the kind of thing he'd like. The investigator nods. That tells me everything I need. I know where to make follow-up inquiries. Before I go into some specifics, I have some theories about your blood elections. Would you confirm some of the details? He wants more information, but we're not going to give it to him. What was that? What was that? There's a ship there moving around quite quickly. I'm a little bit worried about attacking this beloved here where I have no room to maneuver, but I don't think they're too hostile. Okay, down goes the beloved. That guy was moving really fast. It's a putter pony. Let's dissect the beloved for knowledge and see what happens. A job half done. There, I was hoping you'd find me a challenge. The surgeon sighs, setting aside a cleaver and reaching for the pliers instead. The beloved's underside is a network of old and overlaid scars, as though it has been disassembled and stitched together over and over. The thing is more patchwork than creature. Who or what could have had the power to put it back together and send it on its way? We gained 2 more hunting trophies and 46 fragments. Interesting. I want to avoid the putter pony if I can. I don't know what it's about, but I'm perfectly happy to not find out. Let's head over to Pigmote, and then from there, we'll be able to head back around to Khan's Heart, I think. Ride the currents here. I can't tell if they're actually going the way I want, so I'm just going to hop out and go around by manually. I really just can't tell what they're doing here. There's nothing else close to hand, though, so we'll pop up so we can drop in at Pigmote. Yeah, we're going backwards. Evidently, that was not convenient. It was going the wrong way. And we'll pass in here to continue on our merry way. Saints Haven, the rise of Pigmote Isle. However, we're going to have to end this episode here for now. I've gone a bit longer than I was originally planning, so hopefully you enjoyed the bonus, but for now, this is it. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. This has been Vanguard of Valor, playing a little bit of Sunless Sea for you. If you enjoyed our adventure, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and until next time, bye-bye.